Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Distinguished guests, esteemed participants, our seasoned educators, and all the participants, it is my pleasure to stand before you this morning in order to share with you a topic on enhancing student retention, effective strategies to curb secondary school dropout rates in Nigeria. The intersections of this topic are as follows. We want to take a look at the student retention. We want to take a look at the strategies for curbing dropout. These are the two intersections of this topic. The most important point, or the focal point of this paper, is all about retaining students in our schools. How can we retain students in our schools? How can we drastically reduce the number of dropouts and increase the enrollment in our schools? I think this is the essence of the paper. It's very simple. If you want to retain your wife, what are the strategies? If you want to keep your wife with you, to enjoy your life, your house, what are the strategies? Likewise, your child or your children, if you want to retain them, what are the strategies? What are you supposed to follow? What are you supposed to put in place in order to retain them with you? The strategies are very simple. And I believe some of you know these strategies. Moving on to school, as a leader in your school, how do you retain yourself in the school? How do you retain your teachers? How do you retain employees? And how do you retain students in your school? These are the things that we want you to note them. We want you to focus your attention on these issues that I have just outlined, so that whosoever that is going back home should go back full with ideas, full with knowledge, that he may change the narrative in his school. Before I continue, I want to cite a story. I want to share with you a story. A story of a principal that established a school called Brighter Secondary School. The principal of this school, at the initial stage, experienced high turnout of enrollment. The index of enrollment is growing. But within a shortest period of time, she started experiencing dropouts. The number of this index is nosediving, is going down uncontrollably. The principal was so worried, she has to call on her teachers. She summoned for an emergency meeting. Come, let us sit, let us discuss, let us brainstorm and see what are the reasons. They came together, they share ideas, and they discovered that lack of financial support is one of the factors affecting the enrollment in their school. And they observed that poor performance among students in that school is one of the factors that affects the enrollment of that school. And not only this, they discovered that or identified that lack of engagement or parents are not involved in supporting their children in getting their goals is one of the issues that stopped students, or is one of the issues that is stopping students from coming to school or even dropping out. This is what the principal did. After they might have done that, they came out with a strategy. 3 strategies. Number 1, they said they are going to talk about support. Number 2, they are going to talk about engagement. Number 3, they are going to talk about inclusion. These are the 3 strategies. Number 1, the principal of the school went out to scout for businessmen and businesswomen that will support the cause of her school, that will take care of inadequate finances or lack of finances in her institution. She went out to look for NGOs, philanthropists that are ever ready to support students that are schooling or students that want to graduate. She didn't stop there. She went to the government, telling the government that if you have any post, if there is a post that will support students, we are in need of this post. We are in need of this finance or assistance. This is how they were able to tackle the issue of support. The second issue, they engaged in their school, they engaged the school counselor. Change your methodology of interacting with students. Interact with them, know their problem, identify the problems, and plan for mentoring program, workshop on mentorship. This is part of the plan that the principal came out with. And not only this, the principal brainstormed with her teachers. They decided to change the pedagogical approaches to teaching. They decided to change the methods of teaching, the approaches of teaching. They adopted things that will make the teaching thrilled, things that will make the teaching attractive. They changed the content of their curricula or curriculums in such a way that it will take or accommodate learners. You know, in planning curriculum, you need to take into cognizance the learner himself, the planner himself, and the environment. So they changed the entire content of the curriculum in order to engage the learners. In this curriculum, they said sciences now have to do with experiments. Experiments. And not only experiments, they engage in field trips. And not only in this, they engage in excursions. And not only this, they engage in hands-on activities. Other lecturers or teachers in the school, most especially the art teachers, they changed their concern or they changed their method. They adopted drama, they adopted debate, they adopted quiz, they adopted a different strategy of quoting or citing history about our future leaders. This is how the teacher came out with a robust plan to change the psyches or to change the student in their school. The next thing, they said there must be inclusion. Where are the parents that are not supporting their children? They went out to look for parents to come and support their children. Come and see what your child is doing. Interact with your child. If you cannot interact with your child face to face, there is what we call conferencing, parenting conferencing. You have your conferencing, your interaction with your children and the teachers in a given school, via online or offline. These are the strategies they engage. They went, they scout for teachers and the parents. Parents came back. They supported their children in the struggle of learning sciences and the struggle of learning art courses in that school called Brighter Secondary School Academy. The result is this. They started experiencing a turnout that is encouraging. The number of dropouts started dwindling. They tried their best to stop the rate of dropout in that school because of the strategies or a plan that the principal of that particular secondary school picked or engaged. Am I talking to someone that is ready to adopt this strategy so that he can change his school? Am I talking to people?
Yes.
Am I talking to leaders?
Yes.
Am I talking to principals?
Yes, sir.
Please adopt this strategy. This is a strategy that will change the narrative of your school. Unless if you are not careful, unless if you are not serious about your school. I want to tell you this. When we talk of retention or student retention rate, we are talking about keeping students in your school. How do we keep students in our schools? We keep students by our attitudes. We keep students by our aptitudes. We keep them with our interests, with our culture, with what we value. This is how we are expected to keep students. If you motivate yourself and as well motivate your student, I believe the student will learn from you and they will change their behaviors toward your school. There are factors that are stopping or hampering or retarding the progress of learners or even making the learners to drop out from schools. I have mentioned one of the factors yesterday. I said some principals are quick at driving students from their institution or college. If you want to drive students, you have to be all serious. Because some students, if you drive them away, they will not come back again. How do we engage these students in order to pay their school fees and at the same time retain them in our schools? We are expected to change ourselves, revamp yourself as a leader, change your strategies in keeping students. Anything that will send your student outside or out of your school, you should not go to that thing. Some of our principals, they have this abusive mouth, abusive tendency of insulting students, and not only students, they insult their parents, and not only their parents, they insult their tribes, and not only their tribes, they insult their religion. If you are adopting this, students will not come to your school. You cannot retain them. We retain people using motivation. There is a theory called classical conditioning and operant conditioning. These two theories are theories that are teaching us how to motivate a learner, how to keep a learner. If you give a learner positive reinforcement, the learner will come closer to you. The more you stop the positive reinforcement, you adopted extinction, the student will stop coming to you. They will stop coming to your school. Assuming in your school, you share uniforms. Assuming in your school, you give students stipends that they can take a transport or buy something. Assuming in your school, you can cook lunch for them or breakfast for them. What do you expect? The enrollment in your school will drastically change because you want to keep them. You cannot keep a dog without giving a dog a meat. If you want to keep a dog, you have to give that dog something. This is what lecturers or teachers are expected to do. Principals are expected to do. So long as you want to keep students in your school, you have to dash out something to them. You have to dash out something to your teachers. You have to motivate your teachers. I've mentioned it yesterday. We have two types of motivation. We have tangible and intangible. We have extrinsic motivation and we have intrinsic motivation. These are the two types of motivation that a teacher is expected or a principal is expected to adopt. Unless if you adopt this. If you didn't adopt this, you cannot keep people, you cannot keep students with you. Let me tell you something. If you have that tendency of temper tantrum, you are a person that cannot swallow your pride. You cannot swallow your anger. You cannot repress your anger. What you normally do, you vent out your anger to your teachers, to your students. By so doing, your teachers and your students will not love you. They will not even stay under one umbrella with you because of your what? Because of your tendency of venting your anger to them. You don't seem to control yourself. You don't know how to even control your anger. In psychology, what we know, if you are angry standing, you are expected to sit down. If you are sitting down and you are angry, you are expected to lie down. If you are lying down and you are angry, you are expected to stand up, go and take gargle water in your mouth. If you can't do this, you are expected to go and look for something that cools down your mind. If you can't do this, leave the scene of that particular problem. If you cannot do this, go and take shower. Go and take some water. Put water on your head. Put water on your body. These are the things that will calm you down. These are the strategies that psychologists are saying we should apply them if we are angry. Somebody is angry, he is not expected to talk. If you are talking, keep quiet. They say you should behave like a blind man that cannot see anything. If somebody is talking to you, just pretend as if you are not seeing him. If somebody is insulting you, wear a dumb ear. You should not even listen to him. Pretend as if you didn't see him. If somebody is touching you, you are expected to behave as if you don't have hands, you don't have limbs, you don't have legs. These are the strategies that you are expected to adopt in order to retain people in your schools. Unless if you do that. If you didn't do that, you cannot retain students in your school. The paper says, student retention rate denotes the number of students who enroll in a secondary school and successfully complete their studies through to graduation. If you retain someone in a school and that particular person progress to the level of finishing his secondary school, then you have achieved something. In Nigeria, somebody who has a secondary school can be a president of the country. Even if you don't have certificate, you can be a president of this country based on what the Constitution is saying. If you have experience of 10 years somewhere and they agree that you have a very good mindset, you have a very good relationship with people, up to 10 years without hurting or without molesting them or without doing something that is fishy, they said you are qualified to be a president of this country. I'm not the one saying this. It's enshrined in the Constitution of this country. You are expected to look at it. We are expected to retain them, as I've said, through motivating them. There is what we call follow-up. If you want to retain your student, engage them. Go and meet their parents. Go and meet them. Pay a visit to them as a teacher, as a principal. Pay a visit to them and see whether they will not listen to you. They will listen to you and they will come back. Some will tell you, I stopped coming to your school because of your attitude, or because of the attitude of Mr. A in your school, or the attitude of Mr. Z in your school. I think these are the things that we are expected to note them as principals. Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development state that retention of students to secondary school or in secondary schools is linked to higher levels of skills and knowledge required for participation in increasingly knowledge-based society and wider global community. Unless if the society is serious about retaining their students in their colleges, in their institutions close to them. Can we stand up? Can we stand up?
Have some silence.
Everybody stand up.
What's the noise for? I don't know.
Everybody stand up. Everybody stand up. We are going to breathe in, but exhaling through your mouth, not through your nose. Breathe in, out, in, out. Hands up, hands up, hands up. Hands bend, hands bend, hands down. Take your seat, please. As I was saying, so long as we want to retain students in our institutions, it starts with us. You have to revamp yourself. You have to change yourself. Some of the qualities is honesty. You have to be honest to yourself and to the learners. If you are not honest to yourself, whatever is being given to you as perennial course of your institution, you are squandering it, you are taking it to your purse, then you're not doing a good thing for yourself and for the country. What you're supposed to do, you are expected to use what you have in order to retain students. Some of the things that drive students away is conducive environment. If the college or the secondary school is not conducive for keeping learners, then learners cannot be there. There is no any recreational facilities for them to engage in doing something that will refresh them. They will not stay in your school. And the lecturers or the teachers are not friendly with them. They cannot stay in your school. You don't care about their progress. You give them write-ups, you give them notes. They are expected to copy the notes. You didn't even take your time to monitor, to evaluate, to check what is really happening. Is he writing what you've written very well? Is he not getting it well? These are the things that are expected to do. You must take your time to go around and check. Show him that you love him, because love cannot be kept in your mind.
Before you, and the time before you it will be a mystery.
What is supposed to do? You voice out love. Assuming you look at your wife and you say, I love you because of this. She will feel elated. She will be supported. And this is what you're expected to tell your children or your student. Tell them verbally that you love them. You want them to finish. You want them to do this. Take your time to understand or to know their challenges. Because some of the learners have one or two challenges. Your teacher or the teachers in the school are not even careful about latecomers. You didn't even take your time to ask, what happened you came late? No excuse. This is what some of us are saying. No excuse. They will beat you, they will flog you, they will cane you before they will listen to you. No need. For you to use negative reinforcement, it takes time for you to use it. We are not saying that you should not use negative reinforcement. You can use negative reinforcement by changing a behavior, but it takes time to use negative reinforcement. What you are expected to use at this 21st century is positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement. One of the things, don't attach condition to somebody that is coming late. What you are expected to do, you interact with him. I'm telling you something that is driving away students from your schools. Beating them, late coming. I want to punish them. You have to be very, very careful. Take your time to understand the situation. If he says, my mother is sick, that is why I didn't come on time, go to that mother and check. Ask somebody to get the situation for you. Maybe the child is saying the truth, and you don't have any listening ear to listen to him. If you beat him, that will be the end of his stay in your school, because you don't take into cognizance their predicament, their situations, their problems. So as a teacher, you must investigate what is making this boy to come late. Maybe he's the one cooking for his mother. The father is no more alive and is the only mother that is lying or is on the big bedside, sick also. You are expected to what? Go and ask before you take action. If you want to send away students, ask before you take action. If you want to send away your lecturers or your teachers, ask. Please grant truth. Go down and what? And check before you take action. These are the things that will help you in keeping students in your school. But not only this, we still have another strategy that will help you. Here we said, students drop out because of factors that are chasing them away from schools. Unless if you sit up, unless if you buckle up in order to retain them. We have mentioned character and conduct. We have mentioned the physical facilities in the school. We have mentioned the behaviors of lecturers. And we have even mentioned the behaviors of employees in your school. So long as they are insulting your students, so long as that they are molesting them, they will not keep them in schools. The following are the strategies that will help us to keep students in our schools. Number one, we have to adopt systematic approach. Number two, we can adopt school community collaboration. Number three, we can adopt self-learning environment. Number four, we can adopt family engagement. Number five, we can adopt mentoring and tutoring. Number six, we can adopt service learning. Number seven, we can adopt alternative schooling. Number seven, we can adopt after school and outside school or out school opportunities. Number 9 or 8, we can adopt professional development and other things like that. These are the strategies. Unless if you take your time to adopt them one by one. If you didn't take your time to adopt these strategies one by one, you may likely miss the target. You may not get it as it is required. This strategy, that is systematic approach, is a strategy that calls for a systematic approach and process for ongoing and continuous improvement across all secondary school classes and among all stakeholders through a shared and a widely communicated vision and focus, tightly focused goals and objectives. These are the things that are expected to do. There must be a target. There must be a goal that you want to achieve. And this goal cannot be achieved. You cannot achieve it alone. You have to liaise. You have to collaborate with the learners. You have to collaborate with your teachers. You have to collaborate with the parents. You have to collaborate with the community. These are the stakeholders that will concretize this goal, that will make this goal realistic, that will make you to achieve these goals. Unless if you melt down, unless if you swallow your pride, if there is a person that is highly, you look down upon people because of your position as a principal, because of your position as a teacher, or something that has to do with this, you cannot keep students and you cannot keep people with you. You have to lower yourself. If you lower yourself, they will be the one to lift you up. The Almighty said, if you lower yourself, He will lift you up. And this is what teachers are expected to do. Some of us would beat their chest and say that I'm too big for this. I cannot follow a student. I cannot even go and see his parent. I'm not even ready to go and see the Meongwa. Or I'm not even ready to go and see the community leader. If you want your school to spring up again, you must liaise with these key stakeholders. You must liaise with even the military officers, even the police officers, and any paramilitary officers. You can liaise with them. Wherever they see your student, they should chase them back to schools. I think these are the things that will help you. Unless if you do that. And not only this, school community collaboration. I have mentioned part of it. But here we say this is a strategy that focuses on power of an engagement or engaged and responsive community where everyone in the community is accountable for the quality of education. Unless if the community is serious. If the community is not serious about the quality of education, we're in trouble. Let me tell you my experience early this year. Is it early this year also? I was invited to a community in Taraba State. Just go and give them talk about JAM and subject combination. How can students excel in their JAM, and how can they have a very good JAM combination, very good secondary school combination? Because what we are experiencing in our institutions nowadays, someone wants to study law, he is in science class. Someone wants to study computer engineering, he is in art class. This is what some of us in our villages are perpetrating or doing. And let me tell you this, some of our exam officers, they deliberately change the destiny or change the future of these young guys or boys. Somebody came to me this year. He said, I have registered for science, but my exam officer said I should go for art. There is no vacancy for sciences. He now took me to art. What are we really doing? We are not giving them what they have trained themselves over the years. At a point of graduation, you are changing his class from science to arts. For God's sake, this is the behavior of some of us. They invited me to their village. I was telling myself that no, I will not go to this village. It's too far. And for God's sake, this issue of insecurity, how can I even go to that village? They petted me, they called me, they engaged me in discussion. I decided to go. When I went to the village, I discovered that everybody in that village was eagerly looking forward to seeing me. Everybody in that village was serious about the future of their children. They were serious. I was so disturbed. I was telling myself, so we can have village like this. The Meanguas and all people that are under him, the teachers and well-wishers in the community, they were all there. Just to listen to what I would tell them. They were so excited. I told them what is expected of them. I think these are the things that we should do. By so doing, if you invite a guest speaker, a guest lecturer to come and give talk to your student, we have lecturers among you. We have experienced people among principals. Outside your circumference, go to colleges, we have them in colleges of education. Go to universities, we have them there. We have those that have retired with experience. We have NGOs that are ready to support you. These are the people that you engage in. By so doing, they will motivate your learners. They will tell your learners about their futures, and the learners will keep going to that school until they finish. The most important thing is for them to finish their schools. Sometimes we cannot understand the predicament. Parents will push these young boys, you must go to farm. What is school? You are talking about school. Which school are you talking about? You are not going to school. Let us go to my farm. This is what they will tell them. If you are a very good lecturer or very good teacher, you should understand the predicament of that child. If the child comes back, if there is any alternative means that you can use in order to give him chances to learn, you are expected to do this in order to retain him in your school. Unless if you are serious, go and meet the parent. What is the problem? No, I want him to be going to my farm in the morning. Okay, when is he coming back? He's coming back around 10, 11, 12 o'clock. Okay, evening class is there for him. He should come for evening classes. You can provide alternative for this. And by so doing, they will relax and they will listen to you. They will support you in the course of the struggle of changing or revamping the future of the school. Unless if you do that. Self-learning environment, we have mentioned it yesterday. You must teach your learners about peace education. They are expected to learn how to resolve conflicts amicably. They are expected to learn how to understand themselves. That is emotional intelligence. Understand yourself, understand your emotions, understand what you want and what you don't want, and you should understand what your fellow brother wants and what he doesn't want. These are the things that will support the learner to understand. We are talking about self-environment. You must keep the school safe. You must look around, either of snakes, either of anything that will harm your learners. And not only this, nowadays we have kidnappers around. They are just looking at an opportunity, a slight opportunity to come and pack or to come and kidnap student, you must watch, you must put a cursory look at them. If they are coming, engage them, because we have securities now that will support you. If you don't have securities, we have local vigilantes that will support you, because some of these perpetrators, they don't want people to identify them. So long as you can keep somebody that will identify them, they will not even go to that school, they will not even come to that school. You have to make the environment safe for learning. If the environment is not conducive, you should know the learners will not learn. I know of our yesteryears. Sometimes the classes, we had the classes under a shade, under a tree, and we learned because we were serious to learn at that material time. But at this 21st century, that you want everybody to change, everybody to be a computer literate, everybody that is expected to know how to mathematize or how to manipulate computer is wasting his time, so to speak, or you are keeping him under a tree and you are expecting him to learn safely. He cannot learn safely because the environment has changed. Things have changed. You have to change your motives. You have to change the approaches you are applying so that you can keep the learners in your school. And not only this, if a class is not in a good shape, don't put the learners under it. We've experienced collapse of buildings in Lagos, in Abuja, in Jos, and other places in Nigeria. We are not building our structures well. We don't even take care of this. As a teacher, if observe that a building has problem, don't take your learners, don't put your learners under it. The more you lost one of the learners, the community will say that you are the one that killed him. From there, they may not even bring their children in your school. They will say that you are too careless. You don't take care of your student. So please take care of all these things. I believe by so doing, if you retain your student. Family engagement, I have mentioned it, but based on what the paper is saying, research consistently finds that family engagement has a direct and positive effect on youth achievement and is one of the most accurate predictors of a student's success in secondary schools. You must engage the parents. You must tell them that, see, we have to collaborate so that the child will graduate, so that the child will get what he wants. Unless if there is what? Collaboration between you and the parent. Some of us, we are insulting the parents. We are fighting the parents. They cannot bring their children. You have impregnated their children or their child. How will they bring their daughter to your school? They know that is your work. I have a student in my department that is conducting research on this. Awareness and prevention of what? Early or unwanted pregnancy among secondary school students. She is going to give them awareness and prevention strategies, because some teachers and some coppers are the ones spoiling these young ladies. Let me tell you a story. A lady mistakenly had an affair with a lecturer. My position in the university, apart from lecturing, I'm the university guidance and counseling officer. All the students come to me for counseling. That girl came to me. She was crying. She was not in her senses. I asked her, what is the problem? Calm down. You are in the right place. Have seat. I cuddled her. I petted her. I calmed her down. When she came back to her senses, I started engaging her using open-ended questions. When I asked her, what is the problem? She started narrating that it's a lecturer that impregnated me, and I went for abortion. Unfortunately for me, we didn't have it successful. Now you can see I have been becoming bigger and bigger. What is the situation? What is the solution, sir? How will you now help me to come out of this problem? Let me tell you, the girl is not from this state. She is one of the neighboring states. I don't want to mention the state. She went to different hospitals. In fact, she left Jalingo to a different hospital in one of the states. She disguised. She didn't tell them her real name. They engaged her. They treated her. Unfortunately, the treatment or the abortion didn't take what? A proper channel or proper whatever. There were complications. She started changing. I advised her on what she is expected to do. I took her to a private facility where they will engage, where they will support her. I'm not into this thing, so it's my work that took me to this. I'm telling you this. So I took her, she went there. Fortunately for her, she came out treated successfully. She finished her degree. And one fortunate thing about her, that lecturer that impregnated her, she came to me with that lecturer, that the lecturer promised to marry her. That the lecturer promised to marry her. And the lecturer is taking cigarette. What should I do? I still counsel her in what she is expected to do. The next thing, they got married. After the marriage, they came to me with a baby boy. Now the lecturer and the student, in fact, I engaged the lecturer in one of the work we did in the state. He didn't know me, that I had interaction with his wife. And I told her, don't tell anybody, because counseling is all about secrecy. It's all about confidentiality. What you've discussed with somebody, you cannot disclose it. I'm telling you, because almost all of us here are what? Are para-counselors or counselors. As teachers, we are counselors. As teachers, we are mentors. As teachers, we are parents. We change, we guide, we support them. I didn't take the girl to security. I didn't take her to school authority. I didn't expose her. Because whatever I did at that material time, it will change. The result will change. And she may not even like it. So we followed it gradually but surely. At the end, we succeeded in that case. These are the things we are experiencing in school. A child that doesn't know what is tramadol. A child that doesn't know what is substance abuse. Students are there. They will engage him in taking substances. I interacted with a child like this or a student like this. I asked him, why are you into this? Was there any problem? He said, sir, I want to read very well. I want to read my books overnight. That is why I'm taking these things. If I didn't take this, I will not read overnight. This is what he told me. I counseled him. I told him that taking these things are problems. I counseled him to the extent that we collected the tramadol from him. We took away everything from him. We did it gradually but surely. So, because before you rehabilitate someone that's taking substances, you have to show him the importance of abstinence. You have to tell him the importance of prevention. You have to tell him the importance of his future. And the importance of his what? Of his body. This is how we revamp him, we change him. Now he has graduated. He's even calling me on phone that, sir, I'm in so-so place and in so-so area. I'm telling you this as a principal. If you have students like this in your school, take it gradually. Take it with secrecy. These are the things that will retain them in your school. The more you are exposing them, you are indirectly sending them away from your school. These are the things that you have to apply wisdom in keeping them, unless if you apply wisdom. If you didn't apply wisdom in keeping them, they will run away from you. And you will start saying that, why are they leaving your school? They are leaving your school because you are not nice to them. There is a principal here, I don't want to mention his name. He told me that wherever he goes, students will leave other schools to his school. And I asked him, sir, what is the secret? He said if he goes to that school, he will cut down the school fees of that school. If he cuts down the school fees of that school, students from other schools will be coming to his school. So this is a secret. This is a secret. If others, for Taraba State, there is nothing like money now. Yes. You cannot collect money from students. Government said you should not collect a dime from them. But other states, if a school is collecting 3,500, if you can collect 1,500, it's okay. Your goal is to get them on the right track. Motivate them and motivate the parents. Engage the parents. Call them for a PTA meeting. If they cannot come to PTA meeting, get them one by one into their houses because you want to retain students. You have to show them that you are up and doing, you are serious before they will understand you. Okay. Active listening. Active listening. You must give your student active listening. I don't know whether you are getting what I'm saying.
Yes.
Some of us are hydra-headed principals. They will not even listen to you. Tell you they will not even listen to you. Give people listening ears. These are the things that will keep them in your school. A parent is talking to you, what are you supposed to do? Give him listening ears. In psychology, we said you give listening ears with the whole of your body. What am I saying? All the facial expressions on your body must be present. Your mind must be present. You don't ask somebody, what did you say? Can you repeat it again? In our profession is not good. That shows that you don't what? You don't pay attention. You have to listen. Don't take a step of repeat what you said again. Okay, I didn't get what you said again. You are indirectly telling the person that you are not listening to him. Give them listening ears. You should be all ears. You should be present. He's talking, you're nodding. He's talking, you are using your facial expression. The forehead is communicating. The cheek is communicating. The head is communicating. The hand is communicating. Your posture is communicating. These are the things that you are expected to give the stranger or a guest that came to you. Unless if you do that. But if you are frowning your face, you don't need to tell him that I'm tired of you. Frowning your face is a what? It's a facial expression. It's a communication that I'm tired of you. If you show concern, it will show on your face. In psychology, sometimes we don't ask people what is your problem. By mere looking at his face, you get to understand that this person loves you, or he wants you to stay with him, or he wants you to continue with what you are saying or to what you are doing. These are the things. As a teacher, you must have ample opportunity, opportunity to learn all these things, so that you should not offend somebody with your gestures. You should not offend somebody with your postures. You should not offend somebody with your tonality, tone of the voice. Your tone of voice, the tonality, you have to observe your voice inflection, the pitch, the tone, the intonation, the tonality. You must observe these things. If you are talking to someone, these are the things that will give them what? Room, that this person likes people, or he interacts with people. If you do that, we call you, or we say that you have social skills. You have what? I want you to say it. You have what?
Social skills.
Everybody says social skills.
Social skills.
Everybody says social skills.
Social skills.
It's one of the skills that we are missing it. The more you see someone, smile. That's the first thing. You smile to that person. You are indirectly inviting him to come. The next thing, if you are seated or sitting down, stand up. Welcome him. You can even give him your presidential handshake of acceptance. The more you do that, you are drawing him closer to you. The next thing, get to know his name. We're talking about social skills now. Get to know his name. If you know his name, this is a headway. Wherever you see him, you call him with his name, he will be happy. Some of our principals, even the name of their teachers, they don't know. I'm telling you. Go and call English master. You don't know his name. Mathematics teacher, you don't know his name. Take your time to be ahead of everybody in the school. All the names of your teachers, form masters, level advisors, all the names of class reps, class monitors, class representatives, all their names, take your time to know their names, even their parents. Take your time to know all these things. These are the things that will put you on top of your job. unless if you are serious. Some of us are into teaching industry without the passion, without the love, without the excitement. They are just there. They are wasting our time and blocking the chances for those that are ready. We must change ourselves, unless if we are ready to change. If we are not ready to change, then there will be problem. I hope you are getting these things. Conclusion. But before then, provision of learning materials. Provision of learning materials. You can use projector, project things. You know, students, they like cartoons. You can bring cartoons for them. Show them topics, different topics. Bring learning materials for them. If there is no learning material in your school, they will not stay in your school. But if there is learning material, computers are there, laptops are there, textbooks are there, chalks are there, desks are there.
A person that is
the conducive environment
highly,
is coming
you look down upon people because of your...
They cannot even disturb themselves staying in your school. If the other school is cool and calm, they will prefer that school than your school. Your school is not calm, it's not cool. Then there is a problem. The paper reviewed, effective, before I finished. It has been observed over the years that female, excuse me, please. From Statista 2014 shows that as of 2018, the dropout rate in secondary schools in Nigeria was slightly higher among male students. Among what?
Male students.
2018. This research has been published this year, but they investigated since 2018. They discovered that male students are the majority among the dropout students in the country. They have up to 52%. Well, females share 48%. This is the study. Maybe you may say that how? The boys are the one going to school, all schools. The girls are the one hawking around, going around. But this is steady. Maybe in your locality, going to school for a female is a taboo. Okay? But in other localities, it's not a taboo. But you should understand this. Now, male students are getting out of what? Schools. That is why, let me just tell us the indices. Like this Almajiri student or pupils, some of them are not engaged in formal education. If I say formal education, I'm referring to government schools. They form majority of those that are not going to school. But the government brought a plan that they should be followed in their areas. Now government is building different schools for them, just for them to be kept in one place so that they can learn English, mathematics, physics, and whatever. So this is one of the indicators. And other places, if you go to Igbo land, most of those that are going to school there are not male. They are females. If you go to their offices, most of them are females. But if you go to market, you see men. Are you getting what I'm saying? So you can see the indication now. Male in Igbo land, they often go to market. While female, they often go to schools and government parastatals and what have you. So you can see the variation from one place to another. Okay, the conclusion says, excuse me, this is for enhancing student retention to cap secondary school dropout rate in Nigeria. This is what the paper is all about. The paper clearly showed that the dropout rate in secondary schools in Nigeria is high across gender and geographical zones. I have said it, based on geographical zones. This has high implications for effective strategies for enhancing student retention to cap secondary school student dropout rate in Nigeria. Consequently, all hands should be on deck to ensure the implementation of these effective strategies to cap the level of dropout in the country. Unless if we are serious, if our hands, all our hands will be on one deck so that we can control this, we can stamp it out. We pray, may the Almighty Allah give us the time and opportunity to change the narrative. This is the end of my paper. Thank you.